what is it? I've been asked that a lot lately. So I'm just going to share with you the 10 core modules that make up the belt method. So the belt method is an advanced strategy for advertising such that your return on ad spend is increased and really bottom line, increasing your profits for your business and moving you forward. So really setting you up strategically. So not chasing another shiny object or a tactic, but really developing a skill set, implementing the belt method, which stands for something. I'm going to show you what that is. And it is an award-winning strategy by Curt Maly himself. All right. So if you've seen the really cool pictures of Curt holding his belt or things about the belt method yourself, I'm going to today share you what are those 10 core modules, what do they look like. So a lot of people have been asking me that. So I'm just going to dive right into this. So this is the members area. All right. So if you are part of Curt's family, so friends and family, friends that are like family, which he calls his family, are part of the belt member, you would log into your members area for the belt workshop. Okay, there's 10 core modules that take you around this path, as you can see up in this little map here, the belt method map. There is a flow chart or a roadmap to take you from the beginning of what the belt method is until how do you scale and next steps. All right. And so we're going to take a quick look into what each of that is. So let me just first, before I dive into this, if you haven't seen any of the belt webinars yet and you're interested in that and taking a look at that, they are available for free in Curt's belt free group. Okay, and I will share that information with you shortly after this. All right, so let's just jump right into this. So module number 1 starts off with a deep dive into the belt method. All right, so belt does stand for something. So it's belief, engage, lead, and transact. So that is really starting from the top of funnel and taking the customer journey down to the bottom of funnel where they transact. So the belief, right? So the awareness, so nobody knows who you are at top of funnel. So you set up that belief campaign. Then there's the engagement. So you're nurturing the relationship. Then there's the lead to transaction. All right. So that's module 1. Curt really dives deep and he goes over to that methodology, what he's been doing for himself and as well as his clients in his agency. And then in module 2, we get into tracking and targeting, all right, with your Facebook pixel. Now, do you know what a Facebook pixel is? Or maybe you do, but do you have it set up on your page? Because it's quite interesting and quite surprising how many people do not have that pixel set up on their website. So actually, Nick takes over in this lesson and he does a really deep dive to ensure that you are properly setting up your pixel so that you have your standard events as well as custom events that you can track for tracking and as well as for retargeting. So he also will show you the Google Manager, and he will also show you the Facebook Manager. So there's a couple different ways that you can take a look at how you implement, and Nick will show you both, and he will make sure that you're set up properly and really the importance of why you want to do this. And as he shows you here, right, get this right and your business will be booming. Get them wrong and your business may blow up. All right. It just doesn't work. So you want to make sure you have your pixel set up and that you're tracking properly and that you have your standard events as well as your custom events that you can be paying attention to. So that's in module number 2. All right. So then we're going to dive into module number 3. So each module builds upon it the last. All right. So module 1, we started with what is the belt? What does that look like? What is that roadmap? What are the steps that we take through the belief, the engage, the lead, and the transact? And then in module 2, because we want to set up the strong foundation before you do anything, you want to make sure your pixel's set up. You want to make sure your events are set up and your pixel's firing. All right, so now let's talk about content creation and copywriting. All right, copywriting is definitely not my strength. So Itai Bengal, he comes in on this session, on this course here, and he's just really genius with words, knows how to write compelling copy so that, it draws your customer in and to stop that scroll and pay attention. But before you learn how to do all of that, E-Type first shows you the research that you need to do up front first. So who are you targeting? Who are you working with? What are their pain points? But do you really understand that? So E-Type goes into depth here, and you can see this. Actually, this training session here is an hour and 22 minutes long, just on content creation and copywriting and the research that goes into that prior. All right. So, and as I move through each of these modules, you will see that all of them, right? So they build upon the last, but all of them are at least an hour in duration. And then there's a Q&A session that follows every one of these. There's a live Q&A session as that you can take a look at. In addition to these recorded live and Q&A sessions, and I'll tell you what that is in a moment, that you have access to the family. So that's the Belt Workshops premium Facebook group, where all the members who are part of this Belt method, you put your questions in that group, and Curt and Nick and Itai twice a week have live Q&A sessions. So all of your questions will get answered. All right, nothing ever is left on the table. They take the time, whatever is necessary, to ensure that your question is answered. So these live Q&A implementation calls that are in here in the members area, this was when Curt and Nick first offered the Belt Workshop in an online format. All right, so I was actually one of the students when they first did that back in the fall of 2019, and that was what just got me so excited, because prior to that, there were always 3-day in-person workshops, which would have been great to attend, but I'm not able to do that. So that's what those Q&A sessions are, and they're all recorded. And those two, depending on the number of questions, can be up to an hour in duration as well. So a lot of great information in here that you're going to learn a ton in. So from copywriting and ad creations, we jump into videos, but not necessarily live videos, although those are important. But Curt will also talk about recording videos as well as creating videos. So short teaser videos that may be going to your sales page or to like a landing page, or maybe you have a blog article. But the live videos, so Curt has a specific format and guideline that he's been using for years that he will cover with you. All right. And then also, it's not just about the live video and here's a format that you do, but how do you take those videos, and what are the durations, and what's the type of content in your videos, such that you would take it from that top of funnel and you're driving your customer, walking through that journey down to the bottom of funnel where the transaction is, right? So the belief down to the transact. What types of videos, because you're really going to leverage the videos and the video views in the Belt method, what types of videos, styles, and duration and time are at the top of funnel, middle funnel, and bottom of funnel, all right? And then taking that copy that you're learning how to do in the research from Itai and tying that together. All right, so that's in module number 4. So after you complete the first 4 modules, here's a real cool bonus. You get to have a check-in call, progress check with Nick, all right, Nick and the team. You have a 30-minute call, one-on-one call, to have to show them, if you want, what's working or what's not working for you. What questions do you have that you can get those questions answered? So these guys here are really the real deal. So the Belt method itself being an award-winning strategy that Curt uses for himself and his agency that you get an opportunity to learn. They want to see you succeed. And here's just one example or proof that now here's this progress check after completing the first 4 modules, that you have an opportunity for a one-on-one call with these guys. So you definitely want to be taking advantage of that. So that is after completing module 4. All right, so then in module 5, we get into the golden ad strategy. All right, so the golden ad strategy is the way Curt sets up his ads manager to look at the metrics that are most important, and it's not the click-through rate, all right? So if you've always been watching the click-through rate, it's not that, all right? There's a lot of other metrics that are much more important that you should be paying attention to. So Curt has a very specific way he sets up his ads manager that he will show you, so that when you do have those calls or you do have those live Q&A sessions and you have questions regarding your campaign or your funnel, you can share your ads manager, and you'll want to have it lined up to for the golden ad strategy, right? So you have this golden ad report. All right, so it will identify your campaigns or your ad sets, your ads that are working for you and the ones that are not working for you. So you'll know where you should be scaling and what you should be turning off. All right. So it's really important to get this set up because your numbers tell the story of what's going on. So you need to understand your numbers, and just as important, you need to make sure that you're looking at the right metrics. All right. And it's not the click-through rate. Just because you're getting a lot of clicks doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a lot of sales. I know that very well. Okay, so let's keep on moving down. So that was module number 5. So module number 6, the Hot 28. Okay, this is genius. All right, the Hot 28 is your digital newspaper. And your digital newspaper is what runs middle of funnel. And it's crazy the amount of detail and what goes into setting this up. But once you have it set up, it's like a machine. And you always want your middle of funnel. You always want your digital newspaper running all the time. All right. It is at this middle of funnel in your digital newspaper that you are testing your content. Okay. Top of funnel, you're testing your audiences. Middle of funnel with your digital newspaper, you're testing your creatives, you're testing your content. All right, so this is always running, and you always want this running because as you bring your people into your funnel, as you're doing your targeting, right, you're always staying top of mind, you're always adding value. So I want you to think for a moment, if you've ever picked up a newspaper, maybe you saw a parent or a relative or a friend pick up the newspaper, right? There's all kinds of information in the newspaper, but may not be, there's going to be 1 or 2, 3 things that are going to draw your attention and that you're going to read the article. All right, same thing here, but it's the digital side, the digital version, right? The digital newspaper. So this is actually so brilliant. And this is where you leverage, right, that amazing content creation and copywriting that you learn from Itai, right? Then you take what Curt showed you on how to create a great framework for doing live videos and recording and repurposing. And then, you set your foundation up with your pixel for tracking. Then you got your digital newspaper. So you're really building on the strategy. All right. So from there, that's module 5. So you're halfway through. We jump into, that was module 6. You're more than halfway. You jump into the $1 a day strategy. Okay. So this is where you are not needing a huge budget to have a higher return on ad spend and to have profits. Okay. You're using this $1 a day strategy and you're able to test your creatives. The $1 a day strategy is where you're leaning into the algorithm, if you will, right? Where Facebook, using this here, Facebook will put the right ad in front of the right person. All right. So that's really the driving underlying force or theme, if you will, with this $1 a day strategy. And you use this at middle of funnel. Again, right, you have your digital newspaper going. You're going to leverage a lot of video views as well as other objectives, campaign objectives. And you have your $1 a day strategy. And you're testing, what content is resonating with your audience, right? Looking at your golden ad report, looking at those specific metrics that Curt shows you, what's serving you and what's not serving you, what should you scale or keep running, and what you should be turning off so you're not losing a lot of money. And this is where that $1 a day strategy really, really works well because it forces the algorithm, right? Everybody worries about the algorithm. Like Curt says, lean into the algorithm and focus on your creative. Okay, lean into the algorithm, focus on your creative. And then Facebook will put the right ad in front of the right person. So that is the $1 a day strategy. This is really great. So also, you don't need to have a big budget. All right. Now, when I was doing this, I don't have a huge budget. And I'm not one of that's top marketer people that, these advanced people, geniuses like what Curt has in his group, but it doesn't matter. This here can be for somebody who's beginning or a pro like yourself that you want to sharpen your skills or, increase your profits, or somebody that's just getting started and learning, has run some ads, but want to take it to that next level. This is really, really, really good. Cannot say enough good stuff about it. So let's just keep driving down in here. So that was the $1 a day strategy. Now we're going to get into some automation in module 8 with the power of 5. Okay, so now we're getting into CBO. All right, so this is really great. So there's 5 different things you can do for optimization and automation with Facebook. Again, you're leaning into the algorithm, focusing on your creatives, and let Facebook do the work for you. So your CBO is your budget optimization, so your campaign budget optimization. So you would set up your campaign, and you have your budget for your campaign, and under your campaign you would have your ad sets. All right. And so what this will do is that the CBO automatically distributes its spend for the top performing assets, right? Or ad sets, I'm sorry, your top performing ad sets in real time. Okay. So again, campaign, you have a budget for your campaign and you have your ad sets, and it gets distributed. And then Facebook will figure out your top performing ad sets and distribute that in real time. Okay, so they do that in real time, so you focus on your creative. So why should you use this power of 5, right? It's going to help you improve your campaign performance. It helps to do the automation in real time, right? So you're going to optimize in real time with CBO and this power of 5 that's in this training module. Simplified measurement and reporting. And it really allows you to scale a lot faster because you're letting Facebook do the work for you. Again, focusing on your creative. So this is deep. I went back and rewatched this week. This module, actually all of them, they go into a lot of depth. This one is just under an hour. Like I mentioned, Curt and Nick and Itai, they just really pour into this. And Curt he really is genius. They're not calling the social media ad genius for nothing. So that is module number 8. So we are going to go down into module number 9, where we are putting it all together. Okay, so this big puzzle. So we were setting the foundation, right? The belief, the engage, the lead, the transact. You're setting up your pixel. You're setting up your custom events. You have your standard events. You have that set up. You've done your research. You know who you're targeting. You're getting your ad copy. You know what types of videos you should be creating. You know a format and a guideline to do live videos. You have your golden ad report and your ads manager all set up. All right, so you keep building upon the last module. And then you talk about the CBO. So you might not be there yet with CBO, but that's okay. So putting it all together here in module 9 is a real deep dive in a case study of Curt. So Curt was running a campaign for an offer that he was doing, and you get to see exactly how he set this up and how his ads are performing, what he's turning on and scaling, and what he's turning off and what's not serving him. So you get to have a look over his shoulder, if you will, and always watch him work sessions. So this is really genius because it allows you to see what's going on. So instead of somebody just telling you what to do and showing you, he's like taking you inside his ads manager. So at the end of the day, what Curt is teaching in the belt method is what he is doing today. So he knows what's working, and just as important, what's not working. And he's going to be sharing that with you all the time. This back office is always being updated. So Curt's in the trenches with you. What he's teaching, he's also doing for himself as well as his customers, his clients, and his agency. So that is module number 9. And then in module 10, so how do you scale? So another deep dive into a campaign and an aggressive belt campaign that Curt goes into. And you can see here across this belt method, this roadmap, right? The belief, the engage, the lead, and the transact. Now, in each of these modules, the 10 modules, not only do you have the video lesson, which is at least an hour long, the recorded Q&As, access into the Family Premium group, twice weekly live Q&As, but there's downloads and resources and action steps for you to take all along the way, because Curt wants you to take action. That's the only way you're going to learn. All right, take action, evaluate what's working out, what's not working, go back, correct, and apply again. All right, and it's just as this kind of rinse and repeat. So this here will show you what Curt's doing. Exactly. So those are the 10 modules, right? Those are the 10 core modules in the belt method um, in members area that I just showed you. So what else do you get with the belt method? All right, this here is gold, what I'm going to show you. All right. So over here, over the shoulder, setting up the belt method. So Curt captured and recorded and documented starting in the beginning of January 2020, right? New year, new decade, his first ad that he kicked off, all right, in his campaigns. So you get to take a look at all of this. I mean, it's just really, this is gold. This is brilliant. I go back and I watch this. I run my campaigns. I look at what's working, not working. I go back, I'll rewatch some of the training to kind of fill in the gaps, because just like reading a book, you always miss something or you pick up something new the second or third time around to reinforce the learning. So taking action and evaluating. So you can see right here, he maps it all out. It says, watch this video first. Here's how I set up my Hot 28 for 2020. Here's a review of the top funnel targeting for 2020. So again, testing your audiences at top of funnel, right? Your cold audience, new people, new audiences. Setting up the middle of funnel content. So there's your digital newspaper. Testing new content ads, middle funnel. Again, using that digital newspaper and that dollar a day strategy. Testing your content, all right? Launching CBO middle of funnel. So your campaign budget optimization. So let's set up some automation and automation and optimizations where this is where you can start to scale. Launch CBO, your top of funnel. Launch new content, preparing for upcoming promotions. I mean, it just goes on. You get to see all of this, all right? And then answer questions, all right? So here's the, so once he kicks everything off, now you have your day one ad account review. So as I had mentioned, Curt opens up the curtains, if you will. He shares his ads manager and he shows you exactly his ad account for his campaign. All right. So he'll go in and he'll review his campaign every few days. And he's recorded that, and it's shown here in this setting up the belt method bonus videos, in addition to the 10 modules that I went through previous. Then there's all these other bonus trainings with like Snapchat or LinkedIn, Chris Mercer with Facebook Analytics. How do you position your brand with Patty Dominguez, which was one of my favorites. And what's not shown here, but you have access to in another area of the members back office, is Curt's Stuck at Home Online Summit. So if you saw any of that, the Stuck at Home Online Summit, which was pretty cool that he pulled it together within a couple weeks. And what that was, that he interviewed 50 plus top marketing leaders in the industry, not just all necessarily people online, but other areas as well. So there was really a wide variety in niche. So just a ton of information there. Each session, the interview was about 40 minutes in duration. So you have access to all of that as well. So a wide variety. So on top of all that, again, I mentioned the family, right? The friends that are like family, so he calls it the family, the premium Facebook group. So you would be amazed at how many people are in there, super smart, that you want to leverage, and that's where you get all your questions answered. So there's a sneak peek into what is the belt method. All right, so those 10 core modules that teaches you how to set up a right, the foundation and the skills for a strategy to run effective ads so that you can have your return on ad spend go up, as well as your profits in your business go up, and keep your business moving forward in 2020 and beyond. All right, with a skill set and a strategy, not chasing Chinese objects. So if you, again, as I mentioned earlier, if any of this kind of training interests you at all, and you wanted to take a look at Curt's Belt webinar, I will provide that information to you on how you can access his free group. Otherwise, there is open enrollment right now, just for a couple short days, and then he'll close it, because Curt really likes to pour in, as you can see here, to help people succeed. So he's not all about getting a whole bunch of people into a group and running through these recordings and you're out on your own. No, he wants to work with the folks, work with people in his group, answer those questions, be there for those 2 live Q&As. And those Q&As can go on for over an hour. Again, because there's a lot of questions, and they'll make sure that they get answered. So again, open enrollment. If this interests you at all, be sure to click and take a look. All right. So thanks, and I hope I see you in the family.